Well, we're back. Jake is back, Dave is back, and well, we've got bad weather today, but we're still getting up to mischief. We're out trying to shoot some geese. We're just gonna cook up a feed because we're gonna set in for the evening and try and set out some geese and ducks whilst it's 40-mile-an-hour winds, because we need the seas to calm down, because these two need to go and see what Shetland has to offer on the rod and line, and hopefully the spear as well. So yeah, stay tuned because it's gonna get pretty crazy. Yummy, Dave. Well, so far the rain's picked up, there's geese everywhere, and we're soaking wet already, but there's smiles on their faces. So now is my favourite part, the waiting. I think it's their favourite part too. What would you rather do on a Saturday night? Sit in a ditch or go for a pint? In this current situation with this current weather?
Have a pint in the ditch.
A pint in the ditch? We are not prepared tonight. We're hoping that the weather picks up a bit to go fishing up north this week. Jake and Dave are up for a while, so we're gonna, it's not a holiday, this is a trip. So we're gonna fit everything in we can. These guys need to catch some proper Shetland fish. Cod, ling, maybe even some haddock. It's a big old saithe. I'd like to go shoot some as well. So that's the plan. If we survive tonight, it's a go. No matter how long we waited, the only thing that came in this evening was the weather and the darkness. So it's a bit darker now. The weather's come back in. We're just going to start packing up, but keep the guns ready just in case something comes in, and probably head home for a beer or something because it's pretty cold at the minute. So yeah, let's get ready. Welcome back to the far north again. We are on Unst. We've come up on a Sunday midday because tomorrow is some pretty good weather, and we're going to go for a big scent out to Muckle Flugga, hopefully, if the seas are in good enough state. This is Jake's first time coming up this high, and he's seen what fish are here, so he's pretty excited. We're thinking of actually going out now just for a bit of a rod and line fish, and then we're going to camp tonight and get up early for a big day's fishing. For now it's waterproofs weather because it's Shetland and it is raining. Where there's sun there's usually rain, so we're going to kit it up, get out there and find some fish.
I'm expecting big things.
We headed out in the search of some fish. Not only this, I want to give the boat a good old run and have it set up and have the boys with their sea legs on, because the next day is going to be pretty wild to Muckle Flugga. So need to have everything in order before we set off on a long journey like that. Doesn't mean we didn't get into some fish though. Nice. Turns out it was quite choppy out here. but it looks like it might be nice. There's blue sky in the distance. Jake and Dave have caught some Shetland fish, so I'm pretty happy. I have caught no fish, so in that circumstance, I'm not so happy. But the smiles on faces, we're thinking we might head in to go set up camp, because we've got a big day tomorrow. Are you on? No. Oh, he's not on. So far we've got a problem. It's raining and the beers are in the back of the pickup. I think Jake's thirstier than the rest of us. Well, it stopped raining. Get a load at this campsite. What a horrible place to spend the night. Yuck. Jake wants to go fishing.
I'm going fishing right there.
Dave's setting his house up. Josh doesn't know what he wants just yet. Maybe another beer. We should cook at some point too. But fishing is pretty important. And Dave's finished putting his tent up. Well, tonight's supper is some special unknown seasoning goose pork mince that I shot and prepped during the winter. And we're basically just going to do a bit of a spag bowl, fill the bellies, lots of energy. Tomorrow is the plan. I think there might be bacon and stuff in there as well. And of course, I'm going to use some Honky Outdoors spices just to liven it up a bit. That's pretty much it, really. It's starting to get dark. We're cooking away. Filming on the phone now because the GoPro is lacking a bit on the light. Dave's my sous chef. Basically, he's actually stopping me do silly things like put Guinness in to make the sauce nice. I think it'll go great. Jake's down there catching some seaweed. Maybe he's going vegan on us, we're not quite sure. It's a pretty cool evening, this whole thing. Venison is bubbling away. Damn it, it's Goose. Well, it's getting pretty dark. Dinner's almost ready, so we're gonna love you and leave you. We're gonna eat this, maybe have another beer, and hydrate before bed, so we can dive tomorrow, as that's the plan, and we're gonna start bright and early, so we shall see you then. Good morning, everyone. It was pretty windy last night, not what we wanted, but the seas do look relatively flat this side of the island, and the wind is actually only calming down. Sleeping Beauty is coming from his lair. A bit nippy as well though. Winter's definitely setting in up here in Shetland. So this might be our last few opportunities to do things like this. So we're going to get some tea, some porridge on the go, and pack all this mess up, get out there. Morning. Well, we're nearly there, we're suited up. Boys are just getting the last couple of bits, boat's all ready, and then we're just going to send it. I think they're a bit excited. Hopefully we get into it. Hopefully the weather's good up there. It's a different world. We're just going to punch it up to Muckle Flugga, the most northerly point, and see what happens. We're aiming for slack tide, so we don't have too long to get there.
Yeah, let's go.
We're just quickly putting some flathered pants on because even though I said, some people may have forgotten. David, Jake.
I don't forget, I just didn't have time.
Man, fam. He's got his nice fleece keeping him warm though. And we're good to go. And we're off. Sun's starting to come out. This is probably one of the most exciting starts of the day. You're out on the boat, you're all pumped up and you're excited of things to come, and then you turn the corner and you start getting scenery like this. Now, the sun didn't seem to last long and we ended up hitting some pretty bad weather going round the top of Unst. Despite this, the boat handled it pretty well and we made it round the corner. We were just chasing a little bit of swell, but soon we could see Flugga in this distance, and I must admit, it's like driving to the top of the world. Well, we've got slack tide, so we're just anchoring up, ready to jump in the water. Boys are getting geared up. Imagine their hearts might be pounding a bit.
Looking forward to it.
I'm excited again as well. The viz looks amazing. So with the weather still calming off, the tide coming slack, this should be pretty good. This has to be one of the most special places to dive, or that I have ever dived. And getting to share it with a couple of good mates is truly special. And Muckle Flugga definitely lives up to its reputation, and all the stories that I've told Dave and Jake as we jump in and we put our heads beneath the water and we're just given some of the best viz I've ever seen. We start by warming up in some shallow waters, having a look around some structures, seeing if we can see any fish and see how they're acting. I don't bump into too many fish at the start, but it's not long before Dave calls me over and he has the first fish of the day. He's managed to get himself a beautiful wrasse, his first ever Shetland wrasse, and it's a stonker. It's amazing to see your mates' faces like this, super happy they've shot the first fish. It's a privilege being in the water whilst they're doing this and making these memories. Once warmed up, me and Jake head to some deeper areas just on the drop-offs and just finding a good bit of structure. Unfortunately, after some really good dives, Jake does end up struggling a bit with some sinus problems, and there's no point pushing it. Once you have things like this, it's best to just take it easy. So with Jake residing back to the boat, it's time for me to get stuck into it and see if we can find some fish. So I get myself tucked in on this bank with the bank behind me and me looking down. This means I've not got anything to worry about behind me. In theory, the fish don't come over the top of you, but sometimes they do. But it means you have a good view out in front of you of the fish moving. And eventually some fish do start to move and they come into me, and I take a shot at this really nice sized pollock and manage to stone it straight away. So I start to chase some deeper waters. So I'm in about 16, 17 meters here, and well, the viz is just incredible at this depth. And I get myself tucked in right deep to the kelp, and I want to be as hidden as possible because the pollock can also see me just as well as I can see them. And in the distance I see some decent sized fish. They just do not want to come in, so I just lay low. I just do a few grunts here and there, anything to just attract them a little bit, and then the fish start moving in. Eventually the big ones find out where I am or sense where I am, and they start moving in, and I wait and wait until he's close enough because I don't want to mess a shot up, and I pull the trigger. Now I'm just off a kill shot, so he's straight into the kelp, and I just slowly make my way up, not put too much pressure on it because you don't want to tear the spear out, and make my way to the surface.
Go! Whoa! Slab, well done, mate.
After doing this deep dive, I could start to feel the tide turning on. And when it turns on here, it turns on pretty strong. You can even see the prop here spinning ever so slightly. That's a good indicator that it's starting to run. So we make our way back to the boat and come up with a new plan of some fishing. Well, another beautiful fish up at Muckle Flugga. Bit of weight to it. There's plenty more down there. I did miss a couple. Seen some big ones in the distance that just would not want to come in, but I'm pretty happy with this. And diving in those waters again, crystal clear. Dave, I think you actually loved diving in that clear water.
Oh yeah, got my wrasse as well.
You got your big old wrasse. Depth was very deceiving. What seemed to be 8 meters was 13 meters, and what seemed to be small fish was big fish further away. But it was pretty epic as always. Well, it's a bit choppy to get onto the island today, so we're going to do the next best thing, and we're going to do some fishing in this lovely calm mill pond that we're on. And actually try and catch some fish, because they are here somewhere. He's on! We see colour.
Oh, good dancer.
Oh, it's only lightly hooked. Enough to grab its mouth. Just put your finger in its gob. Hold it, chuck it on the boat. Ho ho ho!
Hey.
Oh yeah, that's one happy
fish.
chappy. I'm gonna wind up after this one because we're getting close to all of that tide over there.
Big orange cod.
And what did you catch it on?
The puffin lure. Gotta be the puffin. Fantastic. Well shot for it.
That's one happy chappy!
Get it.
Got it?
Yeah. Look at that for a slab. That is amazing. I haven't caught fish this big in years. Amazing. Good work.
Welcome to Flugga, baby! We might have to actually move in a minute though, because we're getting sucked into the tide. Jake's on again, just as we're coming to the hairy bit of the tide.
Another silver slab.
Oh, oh.
No, it's not. God. God.
Look at that bend. Do you wanna?
Oh, watch your head.
Never mind. So we're just reeling up because we're gonna start making our way home slowly, but obviously it'd be rude not to fish our way home. So we're gonna reel up and start making our way to some cool other spots and eventually make our way home. Well, it's fair to say that I'm glad we stopped off at one mark I've always wanted to have a fish at. It definitely paid off. Oh yeah, baby!
Stonker. That is a belter.
You! Now I just need to free dive for 40 metres and then I can shoot one. Well, we've met our quota, we're cutting ourselves off, we've got plenty of fish. We all want some for winter and put in the freezer and vacuum pack, so that's why we're catching a bit more. And we want to be out tomorrow, so there's no point just taking everything. Dave has missed a massive fish. We all wish that we'd seen that, but more time tomorrow hopefully, and it's been a pretty epic day, so we're going to shoot in, but we'll carry on filming and see where it takes us. Hopefully some beer and food later on though, but we've got a big journey to get home. With the boat out the water and all the gear getting chucked in the back of the pickup, it's time to get the fish straight on ice. Thank you to Spearfishing UK for setting this bag up. I never thought I'd be able to fill it, but I have, and I think Flugga is one of the only places I could probably do that. Well, that's nearly a wrap, guys. We are almost packed up, but the main thing is we are showered. And thanks to the Unst Boating Club, you can camp here, use their showers, but they ask you to donate. They say around £3, but we're putting on it in a lot more than that because the feeling of having a shower straight after being out on the boat all day is worth a lot more. So big thanks to all the people that organise things like this and the little marinas for tourists to come in as well. It's a godsend for us out there diving all day, and thank you very much for a warm shower. So just thought I'd put that in there. It's worth looking after places like this. Now we've got a long journey home, but a lot of happy faces on the way home. Join me on the next episode where Jake and Dave are still up here. We get the whole crew together. We head out on a big charter boat on some pretty big seas, and we get stuck into some fish. Whether it be on the rod and line or the spear, you're gonna have to find out. So join us next time. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you all very soon.